What's going on, everyone? This is Smitty here. Um, Try not to be before you guys too long on this video. Just have a few things that I want to point out here. As I've seen, a decent number of the reviews on Amazon.com and people giving it 1 and 2 stars, and primarily why they're doing that is because they're saying that they removed franchise mode, or they stole it, or no, there's no franchise mode at all in the game. There's no there's no fantasy drafting in the game, and so on and so forth. And at being able to edit players for CCM, or saying that they don't like CCM mode, and that to them was what was killer for the game, for them at least. Now, I have this game here, NFL head coach. I'm going to show some very valuable factual information here. As you can see here, this game came out June 20th, 2006. Sold 450,000 copies on PS2. As you look at Xbox 360 here, they sold 120,000. So they sold roughly about 600,000, maybe a little bit more than that, because these are estimated numbers. With 600,000 copies, I'll say around 600,000 copies or what have you. So this didn't do the mass. So the masses didn't get the experience of this game, at least at a retail level, at a normal retail level upon launch, as you can see from the numbers there I just shown you. Now, we go to NFL head coach 09. Fast forward 2 years later. Came out September 3rd, 08. You can see on Xbox 360, sold 100,000 copies. PS3, 120,000 copies. So a little bit over 220,000 copies. So off of this principle alone, you can see that this game did not get that warm of a reception to the community. Because this is what I like to call a niche title. Just like playing Premier League Manager for soccer, or Out of the Park Baseball, or Wolverine Studios College Basketball. Those kind of games. Those games are like text to sim type games and everything. They're not games that you're actually going to play. These are games that you just, you play as the manager or the owner, or in this case, you're playing the head coach, and you deal with all the functionality as a coach exclusively, separate from gameplay. So you just call the play and CPU runs it. That's all you have. You know what I'm saying? So you're not controlling quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, no positions on the field you have control over. You don't have lead blocking control. You don't have QB vision. You don't have whatever. You don't have any of that. All of that is took away from you. That's why when people got hip to that, you see these sales. Only a small exclusive group of hardcore football gamers are going to appreciate and enjoy this kind of game. Just the same thing if it was a baseball game. You know what I'm saying? Like that MLB 2K League Manager that had came out. That game didn't sell very well. Like, I don't have those numbers here, but that game didn't sell in the millions because, once again, it wasn't received that well. That's one of those niche titles right there. Those are for the true. Those are for like diehard. I want to control every aspect of everything type gamer. Now, when you look at CCM, that's why people feel a bit blindsided by it, because they're like, what is all this functionality? What is all this stuff I got to do? I'm not used to that. I'm used to franchise mode. I'm used to the traditional franchise mode and having this, that, and the third, and these simple functions. So that's where that, when I see them negative scores, I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if a lot of that came from that kind of understanding, because they never got to experience this, as well as the physics not being well received by a number of people as well. And this shows you why right here. Backbreaker, 130,000 on PS3. on Xbox 360. Go to that real quick. 150,000. So pretty much you got 280,000 copies plus. Okay, came out June 1st, 2010. So once again, people did not get to experience how physics honestly work in these games, and they probably only seen that trailer of Backbreaker and seen how good it looked and was like, oh man, yo, them physics look nice. But then you have people that played it and said, no, this is terrible. I'm glad I didn't buy it. You know what I mean? So, you know, you have a lot of people that on a massive scale that didn't get to experience the good, bad, and the ugly of Backbreaker or NFL Head Coach. But you have both of these things. You have both of these, to me, huge additions, especially for the Simhead crowd. This is huge having this. NFL Head Coach being this a major part of the functionality in the franchise mode now, or connected careers mode pretty much. But this is huge. Now, the physics, this is something that has to be evolved to. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't expect it to be in Madden 13 at all. I had no clue it would even be in there. But then for them to do it, actually roll the dice on doing it now, hey, that blew my mind. And the physics, they work efficiently well for the majority of the game. And when I say majority, at least to me, I'm talking about at least 70% plus. At least 70 to 75%. You know, but when you see the funky stuff that happens in that game, it directly reminds me of this. You see what I mean? Versus did plenty of it. Versus and many other people did videos showcasing when the physics go crazy, when the game goes crazy. You know what I'm saying? And does all kind of crazy stuff. So when you introduce this that was minimally accepted at a minimal level, along with this, you're gonna get those results like you get on Amazon.com. It doesn't shock me, and you're gonna have people doing the YouTube videos, you know, that had the expectations of one thing, and then it comes out to be something different. But the one thing though is that EA has been forthcoming and upfront with everything that is in the game and that's not in the game. You know what I'm saying? So, and just to showcase, because some people have said that, you know, the physics engine they thought it was supposed to be an entirely new engine that done away with the old engine that they've been using to drive Madden for all these years. And I'm just going to play this clip for you real quick. This is Vic Lugo pretty much telling what the physics engine is in principle.
What's up, AJ back here at E3 2012. I'm sitting here with gameplay designer of Madden NFL 13, Victor Lugo. But more specifically, you are the gameplay designer for the Infinity Engine. Tell us just quickly what the Infinity Engine is.
Well, essentially the Infinity Engine is a new physics engine that we've layered on top of all of our animations to give us lots and lots of variety in everything we do, and it's going to completely change the way we play the game.
So there it is in a nutshell in terms of what the Infinity Engine is. I just mainly hope, like I said, my main intention of this video was to shed some additional light on this, you know, and in terms of, you know, like I said, I've seen comments and vids that are saying EA lied and they did this, that, and the third, or what have you. Now, does the super linebacker happen? Yes. Me personally, I've only experienced it one time. Now, I didn't log many hours on this game already, and that's stemming from back when I was at Community Day till now. I've only experienced super linebacker one time. What about Psychic DB? Psychic DBs, that happens. I'm like, I've seen that happen, and it's a casualty of player movement. That's why we said that needs to be overhauled as well. It needs to be overhauled badly. It needs to be overhauled, but that plays I mean, the psychic DB, I haven't had that happen too often. It happens every here and there, but it's not nearly as prominent as it used to be. That's the thing. It's not nearly as prominent as it used to be. Like it happens. It happens rarely for me. You know what I'm saying? Not like how it used to. And this is one other thing I just want to say in closing before I wrap this whole video up. At E3, these guys gave you the bulk of the information in terms of what was in the game, what was not in the game, what functionality you would have, what functionality you wouldn't have. In terms of, you won't be able to import players in the NCAA and all that good stuff. They said all this stuff a long time ago. So they said this well before August. They didn't say it August, the game came out August 28th. We're going to tell y'all August 29th. Like, no, they didn't make it an Easter egg hunt. They were very forthcoming with their information. Now, if some people just didn't read it or see it, that's unfortunate, but they did tell it. You see what I'm saying? So they did not lie. They were very honest and forthcoming. Just like how Cam Weber said he has a 3-year plan. He was honest and forthcoming with it. He publicly announced that. So if people want to wait, cool, wait. If you don't want to, then don't. That's it. But they were honest with their information for the first time in a long time. They were honest with it. So all I can say is just that, hey, it's a first year installment because these guys are trying to make a foundation that they've never had. NBA 2K had a foundation before they ported it over to next gen consoles. NFL 2K had a foundation before they put out their first effort, which was APF. Madden had a foundation, but then the transition was so terrible, it was like they started over from scratch. And they've been doing that every single year. They've been trying to reinvent the wheel every year. David Ortiz had some consistency with Madden 07 and 08, but then once he was gone, Ian Cummins came in and the whole thing just was all over the place. Taking things out, putting it back in, taking it out again, putting it back in, hiding stuff from people and all that. Like, and now Cam Weber's come in and he's got to play behind all that. So you know what I'm saying? So he's gonna take some scrutiny. He's got to sift through the muck and the mud and everything to try and find something beautiful. And that's what these dudes are trying to do. You see what I mean? That's why you never heard me say it's better than all pro football. You've never heard anyone on the Sim Standard say that it's better. You know what I mean? And you won't hear us say it until we honestly have something that we can play and say, yo, yeah, we could put 2K down. We can, like, honestly. This game is it right here. We can't say that yet. They got a lot of work ahead of them, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, yeah, it's sad, and yeah, it's shameful to say. Regardless of how much money a corporation got and all that stuff, it doesn't matter how much money they got. If you have the wrong person guiding your ship, you're going to crash. It doesn't matter what kind of nautical technology you got or how much money you invested into the boat you got on the sea. If you got the wrong person navigating, you're going to be lost. It's that simple. That simple. New York Yankees have one of the biggest payrolls in sports. Period. Do they win the title every year? No. So what does that go to tell you? You see what I'm saying? Money don't make everything. Money doesn't equal win. That means you'll be in the hunt, but that doesn't mean you'll win, because you gotta have that. You must have the right direction. You must have the right directors. You gotta have the right personnel to make it happen. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of who the ownership is, if they're the ones clamping it down or what have you, that's unfortunate. You know what I'm saying? That's why their company has suffered the way they did. They lost and everything else, and in terms of gaining, guess what has to happen? They gotta do something to get the product right, but no one's gonna get it right in one shot. I've never seen a company do that. And I know some people gonna say, well, what about 2K10 to 2K11? That game had a foundation back on PS2. So 2K11 was several years in the making. Same thing, NFL 2K5 was several years in the making. It didn't happen in one shot. You see what I'm saying? It took them multiple games to get to that point. And that's the same thing that's happening here with Madden. Now you actually have, and this is one thing I really don't hear people complaining too much about. Oh man, they took away the gameplay. Like, I'm hearing about modes and stuff being taken away and all that. I'm not hearing people complain about gameplay in the aspect of, in regards to gameplay, they took this out. I don't see that happening. You see what I mean? That's the difference. Consistency and then innovation. They're doing both right now. And I mean, yeah, it's a bit rough right now. You know, it's a bit rough, but I can't deny the progress. I'm sorry. You don't have to like what I'm saying, but that's the truth. I mean, it is progressing. If you pop in Madden 12 and then you pop in 13, you be lying to yourself to say they didn't progress it at all. I mean, that's just it. That's just it. So I'm gonna call it a wrap on that note. I've been rambling on long enough, but y'all be easy, and I'll be back with more gameplay videos. Just had to take a break in there to talk about this, y'all. But alright, y'all, be easy.